Hey everybody, welcome to another action-packed, exciting episode of Scotty's Record Shop. On this particular episode, I've got to watch how I do this because um, I'm from New England, and I have been told by people who are not from New England that we enunciate things kind of wrong. So I'm going to deal with that. I'm going to try to correct that right from the beginning. But before we get into that, I want to say hello to our new subscribers. Every video, we seem to get a few new subscribers, which is really, really cool. I say it every week. It never gets old. Maybe it gets old for you guys, but it doesn't get old for me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I really sincerely do. I'm not doing this for money or anything like that. I'm just doing this because I love talking about music. And hopefully, more than likely, you love music too because you're watching these silly things. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and welcome for the few of you just jumped on. Okay, so we're gonna let me make sure I announce this correctly. I've been told that we have a problem with the letter R up here in New England. Uh, we don't. My ex-wife, who is from the Midwest, made it very clear that it didn't. She pointed out a lot that I didn't put my R's in my words correctly. So for those of you who this may irritate, initially I'm going to say this band's name properly once. Okay. Today we're going to look at the studio discography of the Cars. Okay, Cars. There you have your Cars with the R at the end. For the rest of the video, I'm sorry, they're the Cars. Okay, they're the Cars. That's just the way it is. That's how I've always said them. You go to the park. Um, you know, um, Go figure. It just is what it is, okay? So I'm not going to worry about my enunciating from this point on, okay? Okay. Hopefully you found that moderately amusing. Anyway, story about the cars. Um, I found out about the cars um, before they were signed because I used to go down to Massachusetts all the time. I'm in Maine. I used to go down as a kid, visit my grandparents, lived outside of Boston. And there was a great radio station called WBCN back then, way back when. And they got a hold of the demo for the band The Cars. They first album, the demos, and they put it into rotation. This was before they went to England and recorded the album or anything like that. So I'm hearing all these really cool songs. By the way, the demos sound very close to what the album ended up sounding like too. This band was fully formed and ready to go. So I get back to Maine and I'm going to buy this album. They didn't say that this was a demo or anything. This is a new song by the Cars, Boston band. So I go back up here and I'm like, okay, I go to the record store. I like this band. I want to get the new album by the Cars. And the people at the record store were like, what are you talking about? Never heard of them. Like, no, I know. They're on the radio all the time down in Boston. The reality was it hadn't been released yet. So, but you bet your Biffy when this came out, the first Cars album came out, I bought it. I love this. I love this band. Now, seven studio albums for them. Are there hot takes? There's one possible hot take. I try not to watch too many videos of people rankings before I do my rankings because I don't want to be um, influenced too much by other people. Like, oh crap, if I put this at number something, I'm gonna get the backlash. I don't, these are just my personal views. But there was one video I did watch where an album that I put very low, they put it number one, and a lot of people love the album. I understand it. So it is what it is. Okay, let us know what you think of the Cars and where you'd rank their albums. I think number one for most people is number one. Especially if you grew up in the 70s, early 80s, you know it. But we'll get there. The bottom for me is Door to Door. Um, this is Heartbeat City Part 2 for me. It just didn't do it for me. I mean, the songs on here are okay. They're serviceable. I hate using that word, but they are. Great thing, I got this in this box set. And the great thing about these box sets is each CD mimics the vinyl, what the vinyl looked like. So that's what the later 80s um, Electra vinyl looked like. And it also has what the inserts would have been for the album as well. Really kind of cool. It was a very inexpensive box set too. So if you're looking for, you get most of the Cars albums. I should probably show it, shouldn't I? Wait a minute. There you go. Looks like this. I think it's still available. Anyway, at number 7 for me, hold it up right. Door to Door. Okay, this is the one that's going to be controversial. Well, this album was, I think, probably one of their biggest selling albums. It had the hits. This was the big MTV album, Heartbeat City. Again, it's just like the album was. I did buy the original album when it came out. Lots of big hits on this. Drive and Hello Again. And I don't know what it is about this album. I'm not a big fan of 80s production, and this is so mid-80s drenched. I'm not denying, or if somebody said, this is the album that somebody put at number 1. I get it. I do kind of get it, especially if you weren't around when this band first started and followed them. But for some of us who were following them from the beginning, this was kind of a disappointment. Not commercially, but anyway, at number 6 for me, Heartbeat City. The Cars decided to get together after their bass player slash co-lead singer passed away, several years after, actually. And they put out an album called Move Like This. I think this is a pretty decent album, considering Benjamin Orr is missed. There's no doubt about it. But I think that if you look at how they were going to go out with this, right? Door to Door was going to be the last album, and instead they go out with this before Ric Ocasek passes away. I think this is a much better way to go out. I think it's just a better album overall. You know, no hits or anything really off of this. It kind of went unnoticed by a lot of people, you know, but I dig it. Move Like This at number 5. I think this next album gets kind of pooped on a little bit. It's kind of misunderstood. They had put out a couple of very successful albums. They had kind of this, I don't want to use the word formula, but they had their sound. They had their thing going for them. And in 1980, they put out Panorama. When this first came out, I bought it. I didn't quite know how to take it. The only song that really got any airplay on this was Touch and Go. And if you want a feel of what this album is like, listen to that song. It's an odd song. It's got a very accessible chorus, but overall it's an odd song. It didn't do that great on the charts. A lot of people viewed this as a letdown, but I think that this is kind of, I don't want to say an experimental album, but they diverted from their, again, formula or whatever for a little bit. They wanted to try something a little more edgy. There's a word that would work for this: edgy. It's a little edgier than the first 2 albums and any of the albums that came after. But I really dig this, and as time goes on, I dig this even more. You know, and I think that if you're kind of burned out on, you know, the first Cars album or even the poppier stuff that came later, and you want to hear something by the Cars that's a little different, pick up, we'll give this a listen. Panorama at number 4. Some people viewed this as a return to form, and I'm sure the record company was very happy about this, but Shake It Up, 1981. This really was a good album. I didn't mind the diversion, But I was happy when this came out too. It was like, wow, okay, the Cars are back, uh, doing what they do best, which is kind of quirky, poppy, new wavy kind of material, accessible. You know, you don't have to try to like this album. It just is what it is, and it is a great album. By the way, I haven't showed you at this point in time. You have the Elektra label. Don't want to touch these discs, but the Elektra label look like that. Late 70s, early 80s Elektra label. Uh, a good album. Shake It Up was a huge hit for them and put them right back where they belong. Okay. 2 albums left. We already know what number 1 is, but number 2, Candy-O. This is another one of these albums that I think is just fantastic. Really, really like it. It wasn't quite as good as the debut. You know, and I liked it when it came out. I mean, it's not like, but as time goes on, I appreciate it even more. You know, it did really well when it came out. You know, Let's Go was a massive top 10 hit. It was received well. You know, it had some edgier stuff like Candy-O. You know, the song Candy-O and the little piece that comes into it, which is really weird but really kind of cool. Just a solid album, and the band is looking very, very new wavy, kind of early 80s or late 70s look. Great album, great little painting as well. So anyway, at number 2, Candy-O from 1979. All right, you know what it is, you know, and that's okay. Their first album. What a fantastic debut this was. Like I said, when I first heard the demos of this, which were later available on it, and I don't have it, but I have it in a digital form, but there was a double CD released of this, which had, you know, the first album, the album, and then disc 2 was demos, things like that. Great. Great, great. So you can get them. I don't know if it's still in print, but if you look around, you can find the demos. Like I said, the demos sound pretty damn close to what the album sounded like. So when they went to England to record this, they just basically went into the studio and pumped it out. I think it took them like 2 weeks or some craziness like that to do the entire album because it was done. They just went in and played what was on the demos. The arrangements were all there. Um, Everything was there. So a great, great album. Still gets played on classic rock radio as it should. Maybe a little too much, but still absolutely love this album. So my favorite album by the Cars, The Cars, from 1978 on Elektra. Okay, so things that are going to be coming up here. I've gotten some requests from some people. One of my viewers wanted a Bad Company um, ranking. I had to do a little bit of work to get that together, but that's going to be coming soon, very soon, as a matter of fact. Of course, we have the new Rolling Stones album coming out in a couple weeks from this point anyway. So I'm going to be getting that and reviewing that. And also sometime shortly after that, we're going to do all 25 of the Rolling Stones studio albums. We're going to rank them. That's going to be a pretty big undertaking. Also, of course, I've mentioned this a couple of other times in videos. In the past, we've got the passing of Ozzy. 1 year passing. He passed away, I believe it was on the 22nd of July of last year. So right around that time, I'm going to rank all of Ozzy's solo albums. If there's something that you want, doesn't necessarily mean I can do it or I will do it, but you would never know if you don't ask. So in the comments, let me know if there's something that you want. All right. Like, subscribe, and please share these things. Let's help me make this channel grow a little bit more. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. Alrighty. Until next time, everybody, peace and love.